that's a little walk of shame for a Chromebook. Please make sure you come every day with a charged Chromebook. You guys know you use it every day in this class. You see the schedule, any slides we have, any work we have. You guys will be needing it for what we're doing today. But you guys can go on to the daily slides. We can, I guess short day, we should just jump into it. We can open up the thematic maps lecture. This will be viewed on your end as well. 12. Oh, nice. All right, so I'm not having you guys take lecture notes on this because it's going to be a faster pace, a little quicker lecture, but it's just kind of to go over thematic maps designed to show particular themes / data sets connected with a specific geographic area. So a lot of you guys have probably seen maps like this before. Move on to the next slide to show you. But this is how we will analyze maps like this, using 4-level analysis. This is a strategy to help us better understand these maps and to see them for what they're really telling us. Because a lot of times you'll see colors, dots, clusters all over a map and you really don't know what it means. So we're going to use 4-level analysis to look at these maps and break them down. Starting off, what? What is it? Read what is available to you. You see the title of the map, it says percentage of rainfall in Australia. You know it's a map that's the percentage of rainfall in Australia. I say that one because it's an example we've had in the past. What patterns do you notice? Clusters. You guys will see on the examples I have for you, but there's normally big clusters of certain data places yesterday. On our cholera simulation, we talked about clusters, right? There was clusters around water pump 4. There was a cluster of the dead in the hospital. We noticed patterns like that. You can also use the spatial patterns. We talked about linear patterns. We talked about circular patterns. You use them to show relative distance, direction, the clustering, dispersal, and elevation. Can you explain the patterns? The next step, number 3, can you explain the patterns? Do you know why these are happening? Can you look at hints on the map to show you why these are happening? Going back to our Australia map, you guys remember, we figured out why there was more rain on the coast than in the inland. You guys, we can figure these things out using context clues or only using our common sense and our knowledge that we have already. You guys have to critically look at these maps and really think about it and figure out what you're gaining from it. And then what speeds predictions can you make? I don't know if we talked about speeds that much, but if you guys look right here, we have it on the board. It's been here. Themes of human geography. We'll talk about this a lot more throughout the semester, but speeds meaning social / culture, political, economic / development, environment, demographic / migration, and spatial relationships. These are all things, what speed predictions can you make and are the ramifications in the future. You guys will be using these to better understand these maps. Like what social implications does this map have? What demographic implications does this map have? Does it explain migration patterns? Does it explain people's buying habits? All these maps will just tell you these things. You got to use your common sense, your knowledge of speeds to help figure that out. Let's move on to a map. The first type of thematic map you guys will come across are choropleths. These are statistics represented by various shades of color in defined areas. So on this one, what do these colors mean? Who could read the legend on the side and let me know what these colors mean? What does the darkest shade mean? Just based on the numbers. Any ideas? So maybe just call on somebody. Well, you guys, can we read the title of the map? What does it say? Come on, someone yell it. Say it loud for me, please. Kai.
Gross domestic product per capita, or dollars.
Per capita, dollars. So gross domestic product per capita, dollars. You guys probably haven't heard what that stat is, but can you guys look at the side and kind of understand that the darker colors mean that there's more of it? There's over 35,000. So gross domestic product per capita is a statistic called GDP. dollars, so that means it's being measured in dollars. GDP is how much money a country makes per capita, which is per person. And it's on a relative scale. So this map is showing us that clearly in the Americas, in Europe, Australia, on a scale, they're making about 35,000 product per capita. We know based on this map that, wow, look, they are making so much more than this part of the world. So using 4-level analysis, I'm holding it the wrong way. Using 4-level analysis, what is this map? Who can answer? What is this map? What is it a map of? The world, right? Not everyone all at once. We know what it is. What patterns do you guys notice? Can anyone tell me a cluster or pattern they notice using relative location? I'm going to call on somebody. Yuri, what's a pattern you notice? Use relative location. What area? Do you notice a cluster of countries?
Yeah.
Where? Come on, I know you guys know relative location. Is this all dark right here? What would you say this area is? What continent is that? Europe, right? Could you say there's a cluster of the darker shaded regions in Northern Europe? Could you guys think that's an okay thing to say? Am I being wrong? Did you say there's in Africa there's mainly clusters of lighter shaded regions? Right? These are all things you guys can look at the map and pick up from it. And this is what I'm going to ask you guys to do after this lecture. Can you explain the patterns? Do you guys know why, or can you explain why you think these countries might be earning more? What were you saying?
Poorer economies.
Yeah, these countries, we can infer that they are poorer economies. Thank you. Kai, you get your hand up?
Places like the United States and Europe are more popular, so I would assume more people are there, so more money comes.
Yes, they have more population. That's not necessarily completely true, but they are making more money. They're making more GDP. And then lastly, what are the speed predictions that you can make? What are the ramifications now and in the future? What do you guys think this map can tell us about the future? Do you think that it can let us know that maybe in the future these countries aren't going to have as much aid or travel or tourism or economy going through there? Right? So we can make predictions based on this map and kind of figure out things about the world using our common sense and the things we already know. What is this one trying to tell us? Can someone read the map and tell me what this map is telling us? Where do we look for it? Kevin?
Water.
Yeah, what kind of water?
Clean drinking water.
Clean drinking water. So we look at this map, it shows us the blue, 85% or more of the people have access to clean drinking water. What kind of countries are that? Who can show me what's a relative location or a country, continent example you can tell me?
USA.
North America, USA.
North, South, the Western.
Yeah. The Western Hemisphere, yeah, that's a good. I was looking for things like that. The Western Hemisphere, I see a cluster. Most of these countries over here have over 85% or more access to clean drinking water. What about in Africa? What kind of cluster do you guys see?
Red.
Less than 40%, right? We see that red, that dark red cluster. What is this one telling us?
About gun ownership.
Gun ownership by state. What do you guys think? What can you guys infer? What do you think the explanation is for this kind of map? You guys see the clusters. What do you guys know about the United States, gun ownership, and the popularity of it? What can you guys infer? Do you guys find it interesting that there's a cluster over here in the South region of America where over 40% of the people own guns? But over here, where we are on the West Coast, less than 20% of the people own guns. What do you guys know about the electoral college map? And have you guys ever seen a picture of that with the blue and the red? Now on this side, what color are these states normally? Blue, right? Washington, Oregon, California. Do you think that has any correlation to the reason for less gun ownership? Why, Erie? Do you know why?
The blue states normally go against gun rights.
Exactly. So the liberal democratic states, they're normally stronger on gun rights. They want people to have less access to guns. While people in these states are traditionally what? More, they're red states. You're on the right track, Yuri. I like what you're thinking. But these are traditionally more Republican or conservative states, which leads to them having more, they want more access to guns. Those states also have probably more favorable laws toward guns. They do. And their culture surrounding guns. I mean, even in states like this, they've got a big hunting culture. They want their guns. And can you guys infer that from this map, though? Do you guys think you could figure that out on your own? That you think these maps, these states, the dark states, their gun culture is a lot stronger than states like on the West Coast, right? So these are the choropleth maps. Our next type map, dot distribution. This one seems simple enough, right? What are these dots telling us? Radio stations. It says right here, we got our key. And it's just showing us where one radio station is. There's one up here in the northeast corner of Maine. But using 4-level analysis, what do you guys think about this? Can you guys tell me where this map is? That's the easy part. The United States. What is it telling us? This is another simple answer. What is it telling us? Radio stations, where the radio stations are. What can you infer from this? What can you guys figure out?
More radios on the eastern hemisphere.
Not the hemisphere.
Oh, the east, just east.
Say the East Coast. This is the East Coast. Look at that. Look at this cluster right here. Why do you guys think there's a cluster right there? Radio stations.
More people in Tennessee listen to the radio?
Yeah, more people in Tennessee listen to the radio. And do you know why?
No.
Does anyone know anything about Tennessee? Ever heard of Nashville?
Yeah.
The culture out there? Do you guys know what the culture is like? It's a huge country music culture. They love country music. So you can assume they love all types of music. They love listening to the radio, things like that. These are things we can figure out using 4-level analysis and thematic maps. Let's go through a couple more of these dot distributions. You guys can see this one is showing us victims on a map. Not as nice. Kind of like we were looking at yesterday, the victims of the cholera. These are proportional symbols. These are similar to the dot map, but they're showing us proportional symbols. So can you guys look at the legend right here? Do you see, what do the big circles mean? 100,000 what?
American.
Yeah, the population of American Indians. So the bigger the circle, the more the population. The smaller the circle, the less population. And it's in each one of these counties. You can see they either have a small dot or a ginormous dot. So these proportional symbols tell us whether there's a lot of people in one location or not a lot of people. On this map, of course. There's other types of maps that will tell us all types of information. This one, traffic fatalities in the U.S. by state. So the size of the skull and crossbones, what does that mean? But what is it telling us? Can anyone read the bottom of the screen? Maybe only ready to go front. Okay.
Fatalities?
Yep, the number of fatalities. Where though? What kind of fatalities? Traffic fatalities. So which state has the most?
Texas.
California and Texas, exactly. Why do you guys think that is?
We have more population.
That's the answer I was looking for. Yep, the population's so much bigger. Oh, look, this is another interesting perspective of the world map, kind of like what we were talking about yesterday. Who can read this and tell me what it's meaning? Who can look at on the right side? What do the different colored dots mean? What does the orange dot mean?
Refugee population.
And what is the green? Repatriated. That means refugees who return to their home country. And what does the blue one mean?
Asylum seekers.
Do you guys know what that one means? People requesting asylum, people trying to become refugees. Moving on. So the size of these dots show the ways where they're going, how many people have gone there. And if you look on this part, on the legend, each of those dots have different numbers of people. The biggest being 2.5 million, going all the way down to 5,000. Oh, sorry. That's fine. We're moving on. Another one, isoline, connects lines of equal value. So this is a good way to show elevation. Or on this one, precipitation. So we can see that in this area, how much is the annual average precipitation? 128 inches, exactly. So these maps can tell us a lot of information, give us a lot of good, valuable things. This is an example of it showing us elevation. You guys kind of tell how it's moving up and how the circles get in, making it go up. Another type of the isoline map. What is this one telling us? It's okay. Profanity on Twitter. Profanity is per 100 tweets. So the lighter blue colors mean they have over 15 profanities per 100 tweets, which is curse words. You guys did not know.
Wait, what?
Profanities means curse words. So it's bad words that I don't want to hear you guys say. Cartogram. Data represented by distorted size of a defined area. What does this one mean? What's this one telling us?
World population.
So if the countries are bigger, what does that mean?
More population.
More population. The smaller countries have less population, exactly. Look at these countries. Look how big India is, how big China is, Nigeria, huge growing country, Ethiopia, United States still kind of big. Thematic map, the non-contiguous, it was not connected, divided. This is another example of the cartogram map. What is this one telling us?
Donald Trump reached her now.
Yeah, this is a fun one. I wanted to make sure we got to this one.
Yeah.
What are the countries he's tweeting about the most?
Russia, Mexico,
Russia, Mexico,
North Korea.
North Korea, Syria, China, Japan. Do you guys know what the word contiguous means? The contiguous United States? What two states are missing in this picture that's not circled?
Alaska and Hawaii.
Yeah. So what can you assume contiguous means?
Connected.
Exactly. The connected states. Another example, a cartogram, proportional symbol qualities, a flow map. This one shows us how, this one is kind of like a cartogram, but it's using proportional symbols, bigger, smaller, based on the trade that's happening. Okay, so let's move on. So you guys, we talked about 4-level analysis, we talked about speeds and how to use it on thematic maps. Now I want you guys to go back to the slides for the day, and we're gonna open up a scavenger hunt. Each of you guys grab one of the textbooks that's at your table. And so let's say for the first 3 to 5 minutes, we're gonna skim through it. Oh, also grab out a piece of lined paper, On those scavenger hunt questions, you're gonna answer these questions, these 12 questions. It doesn't need to be anything like super extreme, super exact. We need to make sure we're actually looking at the book, figuring out what these things mean, answer them, and then scroll down to see. And then after you do the little scavenger hunt, we're going to be using 4-level analysis to describe these maps. I put 2 there, and then you're going to look through the book and find one on your own.
So I answer all the questions.
Yes, answer all of them. You guys can work with your elbow partners next to you, and you're skimming through the book. So you don't have to sit there and read every page of the book. I just want to skim. So, number 1, is that one I'm going to have a right or wrong answer to? What are your first impressions? No, that's on you guys. What sort of visuals do you see in the book? What else? That takes skimming through, looking at the pictures, telling me what you guys see. What are the sections and chapters of the book called? Next to page numbers. So it'll tell you what are they, where they're at, what are they called. The large orange titles throughout the sections, or the large blue titles. It's just your job to explain it and to get better acquainted with this book, because we're going to be using it throughout the semester. It's going to be our textbook when they stay in the classrooms. How big is your
48.
48? Okay. So, you guys have about 12 minutes to work on this right now, or 14. So, I suggest starting it, working on it now. If you have any questions, you guys can raise your hand. I'll come help you out. Oh, make sure you're putting a title at the top. You can either write Scavenger Hunt or the name of the book, Cultural Landscape, and then your name, top right-hand corner. Let's see, kind of like pictures and cards and stuff they have. Let's see what yeah, so just kind of get a sense of it.
Sections of the chapters. It's not just like the chapters themselves, it's this like.
You guys can work with the people next to you. Feel free. Your elbow partners. Guys, so on number 3, it says, what are the sections of chapters called in the book? You don't have to actually write every section of the chapters in the book. You have to explain like what they're telling you, what you're gonna find out, what it's called. Stick to chapter 1. I want you guys to explain chapter 1, because we're gonna be looking through chapter 1 on the for right now. So try and stick to chapter 1. you have about like 5 minutes left. Try and get as much of this first part of it done in here, because you guys don't have access to the textbooks at home. The one part I do want you guys to do, you just roll out the board. I want you guys to make sure you at least do these 2 maps on core level analysis over the weekend for homework. This is the only thing you guys have to do, because you won't have the other, you will have access to this and the questions, but since you won't have the textbook, it will be very easy to answer the questions. So do as much of that first side as you can right now. And then when you leave this weekend, I just want to make sure you guys finish these 2. Look at the maps, and you'll have the 4-level analysis right there, telling you kind of, it's a little smaller version of it to let you understand it and write about it. But that's what I'll be expecting on Monday. So on the other side of your line piece of paper, if you have room, you can flip it over. You just write 1 through 4 and explain what the map is, where the clusters are. That's what I mean by where the clusters are. Why are they there, and why do we care?
Without doing the book home?
No, so we're not bringing these books home. They stay in Mr. V's class. Right, Mr. V? Yeah. So we can't bring them home, so that's why we're finishing this front side as much as you can right now. If you don't finish, don't worry about it this weekend. But this weekend, I do want you guys to do this. So that is your homework. Alright, so you guys can stack the books again in the middle of the desks. Just a reminder that next week is the World Regions Quiz. World Regions Quiz, so study for that as much as you can.
What day is it?
Probably Friday. I'm assuming, right?
Live in fear.
Yeah.
Just study, start reading.
It might be Monday. But I know you guys, we were practicing yesterday. You guys were all sitting here doing well practicing it, so that should be good. All right, thank you. Have a good weekend.